Here today to talk about the genetic components of disorders. Of course, there is some correlation, like mental retardation is caused by genes. Certain developmental disorders are caused by genes. So obviously, certain mental disorders would be caused by genes. However, when you're dealing with humans, you have to realize that they generalize, and you have to pry some more to figure out all the details of what's gone on. Some people who have mental disorders have them due to ability. So this person was unable to survive in his environment, so he got mad. Okay? And another person who was in a different environment didn't get mad. Okay, you find when you look at all the genes, you find that people have certain vulnerabilities, but you don't know exactly what all the genes do or all the combinations, so it's pretty much meaningless. It's like, why am I even looking at this? It means absolutely nothing. So anyway, until they can tell me what the different combinations are and exactly how everything works, I'm just going to be like, because I'm pretty sure that it boils down to different traits. Like, I know that if somebody had immune deficiency, they'd be more likely to get schizophrenia because that appears to be a disease of deterioration. If it were a disease that popped up where there was like somebody just had a dopamine imbalance from birth, then wouldn't that kid have it their whole life? There would be no deterioration. But they deteriorate, and it's obviously there's an environmental component to it. But they'll say it's genetic, and you'll be like, okay, what was the gene that caused that, and what is its function? Okay? And you'll find a lot of times that mental retards have mood disorders because they've been tortured, or the really smart people have disorders because they couldn't cope with the stupidity of the world. They couldn't see past it. But usually in smarter people, you don't. You see a little bit better coping strategies, at least in the older ones. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to say that they don't know enough, and they're already trying to say that it's genetic. You cannot take a human's word for it by face. You have to pry into that human like nothing else. I'm sorry it's shaking, but I'm showing you that you have to pry. That's okay. And you have to really find out what those genes are and what their functions are. For example, I have a gene for more dopamine receptors, but not everybody who has this gene has schizophrenia. So saying that this caused my schizophrenia is a little extreme. Yes, I wasn't born schizophrenic. Yeah, that came later. I wasn't born with my disorders. That came later. And yes, a lot of it had to do with my ability and my inability to overcome my environment. Yes, it's okay. Do you see issues here? Yeah.